think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's Robin. Tyson with the fade, not the hair, my hands rockin'. When I link with ballpoint, you know it's knockin'. I'm not the same. Thinking money made me change, nothing else to blame. Bougie stuck up in my way, singing Gucci gang. Gucci gang, think I'm Gucci Mane. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again.
So, today we're here with another entrepreneur. She does hair. Some other things we'll discuss today on the show. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and this is Miss Shanice Bridges. So go ahead and let everybody know who you are and what you do.
All right, everybody. I'm Shanice Bridges. I am a loctician. I specialize in lock transformations. So that includes lock reattachments, lock reconstruction, and Insta-locks. So check me out. I'm sure I'm going to drop the link soon in this conversation, but we're going to roll with it.
Okay. So let's start with the first question is, what is locks realignment? What is that?
Lock reattachment
Or
is
reattachment.
like,
I'm sorry, I said
yeah,
realignment.
that's okay. It's kind of new language out here for people. You know how they change names on old styles every decade.
Oh yeah.
So what this is essentially is a new manual way to achieve an instant mature lock look.
Okay.
So that way you skip past the 2-3 year mark and you have those full all the way lock the lock look. Of course you still have to go through the same process. It's extensions, it's not natural hair. So it's just a matter of maintenance from there. And that's really where my heart lies, is in the journey part. I really get to know my clients and I make them look and feel good.
Okay. So is it only locks you do, or do you do several different types of hair? I mean, what all do you do?
I have a very extensive background in braiding. So I've been braiding since the age of 10. I've gotten it. My first time cutting hair was at the age of 7. I've been barbering since I was 18, in the shop since I was 16. And I just got into locks as of 2 years ago. It was after a self-experiment on myself to just see how I would like to look. And I maintained them just to see how easy it was. And was it the right decision for me? And because of my lifestyle, I got children and I had a husband at the time. And I was at home as well. So I didn't really have much me time. So I wanted something that was practical, and I didn't want to be ugly. I didn't want to feel ugly about myself when I woke up and look in the mirror. I wanted to always feel like I'm my most natural, beautiful self. And I've been finding more people that think that way.
So is that what got you into it?
That's definitely what got me into it. Just the way I felt. And to see more and more people getting their hair to dreadlock nowadays, I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta get my hands on them now.
So how'd you get started in the business that you're in? Meaning, like, what did it take to become where you're at the moment?
I kind of took the covert route. I went with just what I knew and started out with braids. And I did that until I didn't want to do braids anymore. And I figured before I quit one job, I'll get into another job, just like how I would out there on a 9 to 5. So I learned me a new skill. When I change my hairstyle, I don't usually let nobody touch my hair. So I figured a way to make sure my stuff always looked on point. And I ain't lose a thread. I ain't lose no hair. I haven't had any thinning. If anything, my hair is a little bit thicker than the actual extensions that I have on my hair. So I'm like, oh, I gotta come up with a plan.
Hmm.
So I figured it out, made my money, and it's just I've been able to make it a full time gig for myself.
Okay. So,
But
tell me about some of your experiences that you've been doing since, starting this. Like, just tell me some of your experiences, like some of the what it took to get up there. Maybe some ups, some downs, some complications that you run into in this type of business, or that you ran into and dealt with. Let's see. Let's share some of that.
I myself have struggled with communication. Sometimes we think the expert knows exactly what they need to teach, and they don't always be on point with how to deliver the information. So you find yourself a lot learning on your own and getting frustrated and having to fight battles of, oh my gosh, I just feel so overwhelmed and I don't know what this is. I don't even know if they know what they're talking about. I'm not getting enough people that trust me enough to put, to get in the chair to let me even try. So how do I get out there? And what it really was that I was just a little too scared to get out there. And I had to, be so fed up that I finally started introducing myself to people, letting people know when they give me a compliment out there in the street, let them know I do my own hair and I can also make you look like me. And it turned out to be easier than I thought because the more and the more I did it, it became my second language. When I say hello, I'm already, how you doing today? What's going on? Getting to know them. And by, before you know it, they come to see me.
Okay, so what does one need to even get started in a business like
Well, one, you need to have self discipline. If you could get up and go to the job, you could get up and go to work for yourself. Um, the accountability factor is vital. That's the heartbeat of the whole being in this profession. You gotta have a drive. You gotta have a hustle. You gotta be on, stay in tune with what the trend is. Don't be scared to hop on everybody post and say what you gotta say. It's a job to have a job.
that's a fact?
You got you gotta have a schedule. Make designate times. Where I tripped up the most was not designating times for office activities and um when I need to do inventory, when I need to just come up with a list of posts that I need to do for the week. All that stuff. I was doing stuff on the fly for so long that it felt like I was on a hamster wheel. I wasn't really going nowhere, but I was going fast. And that was just the most frustrated feeling.
But why do you feel like you did that? Why? I mean, you seem to like now you know that these things um, were taking place. So what have you done about it to fix that?
Well, again, I have reached that fed up point. Like I've been doing this so long, and I should be able to buy a whole house off this income. Like as many heads as it is in this city, I should be able to go ahead and knock every last one of them, and I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. Even if I got to do it myself. So I started with the worst case scenario if I have to do it myself, right?
Hmm.
And I researched this company that was going to help me with my marketing and definitely help me on a personal level come up with a game plan for my personal business and what I do, what kind of clientele I'm targeting. I'm like laser focused on who I want in my chair because now it's personal. It's like it's it's more than just business. I see the business for what it is now, and now I can maneuver as a businesswoman. But the seriousness, the degree of care and interest and investment into it is on a whole nother level. So I'm just glad that I went out there and I invested in myself. Yes, I pay pretty pennies for my education because not everybody is giving away secrets. Uh, and there's a lot of competition out there. If you're the only one on your block that can do it, hey, I ain't finna make it five people on my block that's gonna do it.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fact. So speaking of competitions, you've done any competitions? You ever been in a competition? Anything of that sort?
Um, Actually, I did a competition back when I was in high school. I was in a co-op program with my high school, and I was able to graduate with my cosmetology license back in 2010. During those 2 years that I was in, they had a trade competition, and pretty much everyone that wanted to sign up from their own division of the vocational portion of school, they could sign up and compete. And they gave us different assignments, different projects to do. I, of course, at the time, obviously took braids as my competitive choice and went into it just giving my all. And ultimately, that was the one thing in class that I could do without having to do all the boring stuff,
Yeah,
all
I
the
got you.
stuff that don't apply to Black people here. And so I was like, if I can get out of doing that for a week, I'm gonna definitely sign up and I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna make it worth the while. And I capped out. I got first place years in the braid category and creative category. It was like a fantasy style, um, braid style. Like if I was, at a hair show, but it's for on the mannequins. Uh, but yeah,
Okay.
that was my last competition. But I do in the future plan to kind of situate one for the juniors in my area. I want to reach back and get the girls, a platform for them to showcase their work. If I mean, I can only braid and lock and all this stuff for so long before my limbs get out.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into a sponsor right here.
Hello, how you doing? This is Brown from Brown's Bounce Around, where we make it happen one event at a time. We are located in the Fort Lee, Virginia area and the Tri-Cities area. You can Google us, Brown's Bounce Around, or you can follow us on Facebook, Brown's Bounce Around. Thank you. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, so we're back. We learned a lot about you so far. We learned what you do, why you do it, and some of the competitions that you've done. So I guess the next thing we want to jump into is what do you what okay, let's rephrase it. What would you like to get out of it? What do you see yourself in the future um going doing these blocks and different hairstyles? Like what do you expect to get out of it and where do you feel like you're going next?
Mm, and talking about short term or long term? Because I don't want to get long winded going down the rabbit hole about
So no,
it.
so we want to hear both. I mean, that's what we're here for. We like to hear both. We got plenty of time. We like to hear your short and long term because that really matters. And how do you expect to even reach those goals? We like to hear it.
Short term, I plan on being able to buy my children a house, us have our own stable place to live, and us be self sufficient on a single income with multiple strings attached to it. Uh, that's my ultimate goal. I've always wanted to just achieve it and ultimately feel like an adult for the first time. I've been teetering, having all these skills and all these things that I could do and make money, but was just so timid because everybody still was helping me, still making sure I had a cushion to fall on. So with that, when they finally take their hands off the wheel, who gonna drive? So I had to hurry up and get on my side of the car and start making my money and really taking myself serious, knowing that I have the capacity, the ability to give and the talent to achieve that goal, any goal that I put my mind to. So that's short term to finally get over that hump and get out of my own way. Um,
That's a pretty good hump right there because sometimes yeah we get relaxed on a person's shoulder, we get relaxed on
yeah, mama
another
gonna always be there
individual.
to watch the kids.
Yeah, when you have when see people fail to realize is when you have a lot of help around you, sometimes a person just get real lax. They're
Our
like, okay,
places.
I know, but that's how most individuals feel. I'm a little different. Most individuals are big family individuals, which and there's no issue with that. But they know with the family always around, they always can, push off certain responsibilities on family members or use the family members to help babysit or for other reasons. I don't want to just stick to one, but I know I've never had that luxury to
Mhm.
just say, hey, my mom lives down the street. Oh, I'll be able to go do X, Y, and Z. I could drop them off to get babysitted over there or over here. I've always had to pay. So I
Right.
could only imagine like how it feels for an individual that's used to being on this crutch to get off of the crutch. But go ahead and tell us about the long term.
So the long term, I'm glad you brought that up. But my long term goal is to finally master entrepreneurship, like totally embody it, because entrepreneurship is the mastery of self. Um, I just heard it last night. It just slipped my tongue too. Oh my god. Uh, self development, the mastery of self development. Like you have went through every thing that you have purposely kept in your own way out of discomfort. And when you finally get comfortable, like you said in previous conversations that we had, once you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, what you speak is what you get from that point forward. If you say you're gonna get that house, you're gonna have that house. Because it ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Yes,
It
that's a
ain't
fact.
nothing, you ain't nothing to it but to pick up the phone, ask a question. You got Facebook, y'all can talk about dirty behind the door stuff, but you can't ask a simple question and just hope a random person answer. You already know your family ain't gonna support you as much as a stranger would. They spend their money just frivolously. They don't know you, they don't attach no kind of personal quarrels with you to your price point. Nothing. None of that. But with your family, they're always looking at, well, if I go ahead and invest, what's she gonna do for me? Or is they gonna really appreciate it? Or, just negativity. It always has some risk of having a negative aspect to it. But with a stranger, it's either yay or nay. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like you said, people always feel like they're I don't want to use the word hands out, but it's hands out. It's hard to convince a person to help invest in something until they see that you got something rolling for yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they want a guarantee that hey, if I put my money here, I get my money out. But it's never a real guarantee where we can give you a percentage where we feel like it's comfortable, but is there a real guarantee? So, like you said, it's hard to get an individual to want to invest in you because they want a big chunk out of it. They're expecting like an instant return. A lot of people is in need of their money. I mean, that's just reality. And a lot of people, they have the protection plan on their money, and it's hard for certain families to be able to take losses, so they can't take those chances. So they feel like, hey, what do you have? What am I getting? When are you gonna get it to me by? Things like that. So I could agree. I know I stay away from those type of situations because I know that that's the thought frame without them verbally saying it sometimes.
Correct. And it's just natural because you are always going to be protective and cautious with your resources. You don't ever want to deplete your resources on anyone before you have spent some of it on yourself. I'm learning that day in and day out. The more I just give freely, not totally taking into account that whatever I do literally affects my children. So if I say yes to extra services on top of just a normal retwist and I didn't charge you and you don't tip, not to make it about money, but just the appreciation aspect, that was like an extra 2 hours away from my children. And you don't know that we still sleep in the same bed. Not to get TMI, but that's my personal time with
Yeah,
my
no.
kids.
Oh
I
yeah, you're
don't
right.
I don't see them all day. Now that I've coordinated my co-parenting situation, I literally don't see my kids like that anymore. And it's only been my first day, like my first week with it.
Oh, okay.
I
Something
see
new.
it already happening that I'm gonna be spending a whole lot of hours away from my children, embarking on this journey of entrepreneurship. But it's worth it because my children also get to see me actually working, actually transforming people's heads and making them feel good and seeing the reaction and how I impact other people. They just want to be there. They just want to help.
Yeah.
So I let them every now and then. They part of my entourage. They my brand ambassadors. They my they my
Everything.
brainstorming partners. They everything. My test babies. All that.
So
So
let's
yeah.
uh let's slide off of that some and let's jump into a little bit about yourself so individuals can learn a little bit about you. So what do you do for fun and what are some of your interests that are out there that if you
I'm
had to
interested.
if you had free time to do what would it be?
If I had free time, I'm interested in getting into roller skating. I
Roller
want to
skate.
be on Skate Life TV.
Oh Lord. Why is that?
They look so sexy on them skates, and I'm
Oh
that.
man,
Yeah,
those
I like the
movies,
I like
boy.
the go aspect of roller skating.
Yeah, the movies they're
It's so free looking, and they do all these different kind of stunts. I'm like, yes, I'm still agile. Let me learn it now before I get still.
yeah, what's that movie with Ti? With the ATL, they made the
Yeah,
roller skating thing the hot thing at that moment, right?
uh,
It
shoot.
was ATL, wasn't it?
That's how old the movie is. I know Bow Wow did Roll Bounce,
Yeah. So that's why I
and
said so that's a pretty good goal. So you know how to roller skate, right?
I know how, but I'm not skilled yet. So I'm finna get the training.
You got to
I
bust your
found,
behind a couple times
yeah,
before it
I
counts for
already
anything.
know it, and I'm gonna be getting me a couple of braces or some wraps or something.
Yeah, that's cool though. So what else would you what that you do with your free time or
um,
any places that you like to visit vacation wise? Any vacations you have in mind?
I'm gonna just be real, man. I'm solely out here doing what I do day in and day out. This is how I eat. So I ain't had no vacation time. Uh, but as far as what I love to do, I like to go sit in the park by the lake and just be in the sun until I can't stand it no more.
So you start
And just
cooking.
meditate, just park it. Or if I don't feel like leaving the house, I will follow the sun around the house. I will park me a chair around the house until I just made up my mind what I'm finna do tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Any places you like to travel to?
Um, I love going back home to my dad's house in Hinesville. That's where I grew up. Um, it's so quiet out there, and it ain't much out there. They just now getting gentrified out there.
I feel
But
it.
I love to sit out there. We chill. Everybody moves slow. Everybody talks slow. Ain't no rush
Everybody
to
talks
do
slow.
nothing. You know, ain't no rush to do nothing.
Country life.
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
Oh man. So, um, do you follow anybody social media wise or watch anybody social media wise that influence some of the stuff that you do, craft that you do?
Yes, definitely. I have followed Miss November Love 3 on Instagram. She is the queen of kitty styles. I pull inspiration from her work almost every time I do a kitty style now. Like just the technique or how she's holding her hands. I watch so many videos in and out. I'll just be like, okay, I get it. I'm getting it. It's coming together. And my babies look beautiful every time they get their hair braided. All my kids. I finally got my first compliment from my little 8-year-old client. He usually give me a hard time, but he was just like, "Thank you for making me look like that boy on TikTok." I'm like, "What? What boy on TikTok?" But I was like, "Okay, I'm making a splash. He on TikTok then. I might need to go ahead and use my babies.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah. Nah,
Let
so
them
that's a good thing.
get their shine on and go ahead. If Mama say so, I'm gonna put it out there. They're gonna make me look good."
So, what are some of the ways that you use to advertise some of the stuff that you do, and where can people find your stuff?
Um, I mainly use Facebook. You can find me at facebook.com/ Shanice B. Nick NICH. That's my personal page. That's where most of my work is, and you'll be able to go straight to my business page or my booking site so you can see my portfolio as well. So very active there. Um, Instagram is at LOVE capital GIFTS X as in by SHANICE.com on Instagram. And those really my only two platforms that I really use. Not really advertising many other places. Maybe Marketplace or Style Seat every now and then, but that's only if emergencies come up. Like if I gotta change locations for a couple months.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna jump into another sponsor right here.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Bassin Ain't Easy, and I'm here with Shooting the Splits podcast, the #1 podcast for bringing you everything you need to know about up-and-coming entrepreneurs. If you want to hear more from Shooting the Splits podcast, make sure you check them out on Vaha Media on all social media platforms. And if you want to hear more about myself, Bassin Ain't Easy, make sure you go check me out on YouTube at Bassin Ain't Easy. And I will catch y'all on the water.
All right, so we're back. We're back. So, with some of the hair things, do you travel and do individuals' hairs? Um, is there any styles out there that you want to learn that you don't know how to do? Maybe you can do that on a travel, something like that. Is there anything like that?
I'm open to traveling in the near future, but currently I'm in a rebuilding stage. So focus is required. Um, but until I master how to get these butts in my seats on a consistent basis to achieve my goal in my 2-year plan, then I'll be taking off the travel and, really being that concierge stylist. Coming with all the bells and whistles, you just sit back. Hey, I pull up, park. You just come back to the mobile.
Oh yeah. They is there any specific products you like to use? Any favorites out there of things that you use to do most of your hair?
Now, this one I wasn't necessarily a huge fan with the brand at first, but when I finally got a hold of this product, I was like, yes, finally something that I like. I use Style Factor, the Loctician Edition.
Hmm. What's
That
that?
is, it's a lock gel.
Okay.
It has the edge control consistency, but it doesn't leave a white residue, and
What
you
is that?
don't have
What is this edge control? Please explain to some of the
edge
people that don't know
control
what it
is
is.
edge control is like gel. If you grew up around like girls that you was real close to, you probably overheard in conversation like jam or
So it's like giving them a fresh edge up.
yeah, it's like
Okay.
giving a fresh edge up.
Okay.
It's very tedious. It's one by one, and you definitely have to smooth out the roots. So some people could go as long as 4 to 5 months without even touching their hair.
I was gonna say, so if I don't use edge control, am I good or what?
It's always good not to use anything because you want to always be as natural as possible. But some people here don't cooperate, and you have to really speak to the hair and whisper to it a little bit and do something that it may agree with, and also what the client agrees with. I know I'm personifying the hair, but it really is a relationship. You gotta love what I do because it takes hours and hours.
Okay.
Blood, sweat, and tears, the needles that I use, the types of combs, the clips, all that. Your hands could cramp. The amount of hours on your feet without no break. People don't realize that we don't get no break every 2 hours at Walmart. Like
Okay.
at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like these clients sit down and expect to get done, get in, get done, and you don't waste no time. So with all of that, I have to find products that get me through it faster. I ain't gotta waste no time trying to water it down or wipe it off or nothing like that. I'm wasting product, none of that. Gotta find the stuff that works. So that was the one product that worked. I also use ISO Plus molding cream. That's awesome too for the really can't you don't you kind of hair, the real nappy hair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
4C for those that are technical with the language. You use a cream and it'll soften the hair. Um,
Okay. Okay.
just a little tidbit in there. Um, and then some folks, I don't even have to use anything on them because we use a different method.
Okay. So, is there any individuals out there that you would ever want to work with or do hair with or visit just
At
to
this
watch them
mo-
do?
at this moment, there's one. Her name is Jessica Luttrell. Um, she's a braider. I just want to see her braid.
What kind
Because
of braids?
if you could do a head of box braids, four heads of box braids in one day for all my ladies that know how long it takes. It can usually take up to 6 to 8 hours for somebody that think they fast they're doing it. But somebody who really fast they're doing it could probably get it done in 4 to 5.
Mm,
That's a very significant time difference for someone that's trying to meet a quota of 3 to 4 heads a day,
okay.
especially if that's the only thing people buying out here as well. So if you're gonna be the best, you gotta just be it. Gotta do it. But I want to go ahead and sit behind her one day and just watch, do a little look and see.
Uh-huh.
And I already attempted to kind of sit in on a master loctician that I admired, but that kind of backfired. So
How
I
did it
went ahead
backfire?
and just went back. Um, well, went out there with high expectations, and it wasn't what I thought. And when I went to voice my observation, I was greeted with hostility. So,
Ain't that how it usually is? You criticize somebody, they're gonna give you what you asked for.
yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I thought I was helping you out. I keep it to myself. And I said, well, I'm on my way back to my studio, my salon, where I got all the bells and whistles.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna drop a hard one on you. So give
You said,
me. I said I'm gonna drop a hard one on you. So give me 3 celebrity hairstyles that you remember from a movie or a point of time, and describe it that you like. That are some of your favorites. So for me, it was always that Jada Pickett hairstyle that she
mm-hmm.
wore, like in I don't know if anybody's seen Jason Lyric. I think she wore it, yeah, the same way in Set It Off. That would be one for me. Whoopi Goldberg's hair was always the cool thing for me. And then this might be funny as hell, but Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element, man. Yeah, with those wild hairstyles, man. Those are pretty cool hairstyles to me.
Mm-hmm. Uh, one of my favorites was always Lauren Hill. I like how full her hair was and, just free. And she still looked super beautiful. And not to mention, a lot of people have said that I resemble her in more ways than one. So I count that as a very, very big compliment. And I do not take it for granted. I love Lauren Hill. That's one.
Okay.
Number two would be Lettucey. She's a jazz R&B singer. Lettucey has always rocked the strongest lock styles. Like when I say something out of a magazine,
Mm,
like Creative Soul, it's a photography studio that was based out of I want to say Atlanta, Georgia,
mhm.
and they got their viral reputation from doing fantasy style hairstyles for black children, and they dressed them up like kings and queens.
That's pretty
So
cool.
I love when people wear styles like that. It just reminds me of it. And I forget the young lady's name, but I also like the little girl in that Christmas movie with Forrest Whitaker. She was so cute with her hair. I loved it. And she had the little gears and ribbons in it. That was one of my favorite ones as of recently. I like free, expressive, kind of style stuff that people won't wear every day, but you would wear it every day. I feel like I would do that every day if I really had the perfect life.
Is there any events or anything like that coming up that maybe you interested in or
The
may
Bronner Brothers,
attend?
the Bronner Brothers hair show is coming up in August. We already put down on the Airbnb to go. It's gonna be in New Orleans this year.
Okay.
So
What is
I'm
that?
excited to go. It's a big black hair show. With all the pioneers of black hair products, Bronner Brothers, Isoplus, uh, Motions, Dark and Lovely, regular homegrown theme name remembered, just stamped under the cabinet in the mama's basket. Those the products you grew up seeing. These the people that's been around since the day Earth was created.
Yeah.
So I'm exaggerating because I'm a little sleepy. but it's finna get
Okay.
real silly. We finna keep talking till we can't talk no more.
So, I guess this is the time where you get to drop some knowledge. So, is there anything you'd like to share with the crowd that maybe that they don't know that they can learn from you right now?
Uh, yes. It has been repetitive. I hope you've heard it and picked it up. But accountability is the key. Um, when you get that itch, like, dang, I should be doing something right now. Do it. Don't sit there and just be like, I could wait. Because if it could wait, it'll wait. And how long you gonna let it wait? Let it wait. Can't blame nobody. Can't put nobody in the way and say, oh, it's their fault. You gonna always come out looking stupid. Because who had the keys to the car? You did. So instead of embarrassing yourself down the long way, just go ahead and do your work now. Go through all your mistakes now. Fail forward. Don't fight so hard to succeed, but fight to fail so you can succeed through your lessons. I'm learning that now. Don't be so scared. Get out there and do it.
That's definitely some good knowledge right there.
That's my lesson.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
It's simple
understand
as that.
that.
Because I can't tell nobody how to do them. But I can tell you about yourself because we all wake up and open our eyes and do what? Go to the bathroom, just like everybody else.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of individuals don't understand that sometimes you got to fail in order to learn something, and then you'll do it two times better the second time. But I guess we're coming to the end. We're coming to the closing. So as I do with most and every of my all of my guests, is there anything you'd like to ask me since I've done a whole bunch of questions throughout this?
Um, well, I guess shoot, since you on the floor, spotlight. Um, what specifically made you choose me to, be a part of your podcast?
So just like I choose every other individual, uniqueness, right? I like a unique individual that has a story to share within the entrepreneurship world and some of the struggles and some of the great sides of what they do. And also, individuals get to know you personable. So if they did want to come check you out to support your upcoming anything that you have going on, they'll know a little bit about you before they take that opportunity or chance to be like, all right, let's see what she's worth or what she can do or, an opportunity. So in order to do that, you have to reach out to individuals in every field and have that conversation. Let the world know who they are. Let them know a little bit about them. Give them a piece or a chunk of an individual and why they're trying to do what they're doing and where they're trying to go with it. Or maybe they can show some assistance, or maybe they can help give you some knowledge. Same way you're passing out knowledge. But for me, I like to reach out to all individuals, especially if I know that you're doing good. I know that you still got a steady feet. Sometimes you want to share your story, and I think it's good to share your story, right? So that would be my biggest reason for definitely having you on the podcast.
Oh, that's a huge compliment. Blessings for that. I did want to correct myself from earlier about my Instagram. It's capital L OVE capital G IFTSX SX, like extra small backwards. SHANICE. Love This by Shanice on Instagram.
Make sure y'all get tapping on that. Follow. And I appreciate you coming on the show today. And we'll do this again, all right?
Thank you for having me.
Till next time. See you.
Talk to you later, y'all.